Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna start my body build, a Yak-130 that I built together with ChancerNW, a gentleman from Wales. And the format for this build will be a little bit different than what I've done before. I will try to post short vlogs or updates where I go through the pros and cons I find with the kit so far. A bit of progress and some information, a sort of retrospect in every part where I look at the kit and things that I could have done better, or if there are some issues with the kit, then I mention them. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's get started. So this part of the workbench is where I store my work in progress builds. And normally when I start the kit, I unpack everything from the gift box, and I don't normally keep this, so I throw that away in the paper recycling bin. And instead I put everything from all parts from the kit into a storage box like this. So this is how far I've come for now, and Well, my first impression of this kit is that it's very, very good. The fit is exceptional. It's a highly engineered kit. There are a lot of interesting design choices, but since the fit is very good and everything is kind of holds together, I think this is really fun to build this, because it's so intelligently made up. And I did a dry fit of the rear part of the fuselage just to check the air intakes, and as you can see, they meet up perfectly, and I think this is going to look really nice. And this is an example, the leading edge of the scope, air scope here. You can see what I mean with there are 3 parts that make up the air intake, and you have to paint that and fit all those parts. But I think that is manageable. I can do that. So I think it will look great when it's finished. The top section is here, so I have to paint the inside here as well, and it will fit like something like this, and there you have it. I also did this just to check if it was possible to leave the landing gears legs to put them in during the final assembly, but it seems like it's impossible to put them in place with I can show you. Here's the bottom side, the bottom part. I think it's impossible to reach this area when you have this assembled. So I have to glue in them. I have to paint everything and weather it, and glue in the landing gear, and then I have to mask everything before I can paint the outside. But that's okay. I've done that before on occasionally on some builds. But I prefer to put every small parts together at the end, so I can paint them and weather them individually. So yeah, I think that I'm very, very pleased. It's been really fun so far, because everything fits together so well. So it's really interesting, and also very enjoyable to build this. So I just wanted to mention a couple of things about the instruction manual. First of all, when I started planning the build and reading through the instructions, I couldn't figure out what the versions were. There are a couple of references in the throughout the assembly instruction about versions, and I thought it was the paint scheme, that there were different configurations depending on which paint scheme you were choosing, but it actually was the if you're building it gear down or gear up. But that was after a while I realized that there are a couple of pieces here that are depending if you're building it with open gear bay doors or closed, then you have to choose different parts for that. And the thing that made me most confused was actually this, because this is the version 2, which is the gear up version, but the submodule that is shown here has landing gears, so I couldn't figure out how that could work. But that is, I would say that is a typo, or some error made by the person who made the illustrations for this manual. Another thing worth mentioning is that this is version 2. This has nothing to do with any stores or pylons or anything. This cutout here is for the stand that is shown on the first page. So if you don't have that, then don't do that. Okay. Yeah, one other thing that is worth mentioning, I couldn't make out or realized, I couldn't realize how the painting were done, and the problem was that the painting scheme were sort of incomplete. You see this part here that is supposed to be painted, and this one as well, but it's not showed on this part. And same here, and same in this area. And if there are parts that are mirrored or two pieces, then of course they have skipped that on the instructions. But of course the landing gear base should have the same color in both places. But here on the other hand, they have not done that, so it's a little bit ambiguous, I would say. So yeah, but I mean, for a experienced builder, this is not an issue, because we probably read the instructions ahead and to plan the build and try to realize how the parts go together and which parts I can paint separately and mount or assemble in the final assembly, and which part that needs to be pre-painted and before they are put together. Okay, so basically I've done this part except for the landing gear. I have cleaned up those tubes, but I haven't painted them yet. And I need to paint the landing gear bay, of course. So in the next installment I plan to build and assemble the landing gear base, landing gear, the cockpit, and hopefully I can put together the fuselage, at least those two sections. So I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying this build, and I will soon I will continue the build, of course, and in a week or two you will have the next episode in this series. I plan to do something like 4 or 5 episodes in total. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.